name's Jennifer Torrey, and I have the privilege of being the chair of the TIFF Board of Directors, and really happy to have you all here this morning. And it's our second Share Her Journey breakfast, and this year we have a spotlight on storytellers. I know it's the beginning of festival, and I'm sure people are already tired. I've taken a new approach this year. I've really been careful with my shoes the first few days so that I actually have a chance to make it through the rest of the week. But I hope you've had a chance to see the Share Her Journey activation on Festival Street. It sounds like the weather's going to be cooperating over the next couple of days. So if you haven't, please make sure you take a chance. It's at the northeast corner of David Pico Square. What I'm most impressed with and inspired by is just how many people have joined this conversation and chosen to amplify the Share Her Journey movement. Just in a short, really year, maybe 18 months, we'll give it a little bit more, where we first started to talk about it, 4,200 supporters have taken action to support women in film. It fills me with much joy that TIFF continues to walk the talk as well when it comes to closing the gender gap in the film industry. And we're delighted to say that a record 36% of all festival titles this year in the lineup are directed, co-directed, or created by women, including half of all gala titles. So following artistic director and co-head Cameron Bailey's signing of the 50-50 by 2020 pledge at last year's Share Her Journey breakfast and the commitment to diversity and inclusion, TIFF is giving filmmakers the opportunity to self-identify, to inform overall representation of the official selection. And as part of Share Her Journey, TIFF will continue to provide over 120 female creators free access to the TIFF Industry Conference and year-round programming. A sincere thank you to all of you who have donated to this campaign, some of whom are with us this morning. And thank you to the incredible filmmakers who continue to move the dial and lead the way in creating space for themselves and for the women who follow. And I think you can already see, and I've certainly seen through some of the films over the past year, that when there's a mix of people telling the stories or behind the stories or writing the stories, that they have a different feel. It's so I think it's really going to be an exciting decade, hopefully, where this just continues to grow. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the fearless leader, co-leader of TIFF, our executive director and co-head, Joanna Vicent.
Thank you, Jennifer. So I'm so excited to be here. This is my first TIFF, as you all know, on this side of things. I used to be a producer, and this cause of, empowering women, giving women opportunity, and more women directing films and producing films, that's something that has always been very dear to me. As a producer, I always made an effort to hire key positions, make them be led by women, because I knew that if women were the DPs and the production designers and so on, they will hire more women to be the assistant cameras and the set decorators and so on and so forth. So this is really important to me. Was one of the reasons that I joined TIFF, was to see that TIFF had started this initiative in 2017. So I think we've been doing really great work, and thank you so much for all of the supporters. And I'm thrilled to introduce Robyn Citizen, the programmer for shorts. And I think we actually have more shorts directed by women in this year's festival. So Robyn.
Thank you, Joanna. Good morning. Thanks everybody for being here at this early hour. I also want to say that Share Her Journey is a community-based event, and everybody in this room is part of that community. So it's been a tradition for us to kind of turn to our neighbor really quickly and introduce ourselves so we can build that community right here in this room. So if you want to do that for a few seconds. Okay, now that we all know each other, I would like to bring our panelists up. So one of our panelists, Archie Punjabi, is unable to make it today, but I know you're going to love everything else that our other panelists have to offer. So with that, I would like to introduce our first panelist, Lina Roessler, a Canadian film, television, and theater actress and 2019 TIFF Writing Studio recipient. She received a double honors degree in English and creative writing from Concordia University in Montreal. She earned a performance degree from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, the oldest acting school in the English-speaking world. Lina Roessler. Rima Das is a filmmaker best known for her film Village Rockstars from 2017, which won several national and international awards. She won India's National Best Film and Best Editor Awards, and in 2018, GQ India named her as one of the most 50 influential young Indians of 2018. Rima Das. And Carol Nguyen, who we're currently hosting her wonderful film No Crying at the Dinner Table in our Shortcuts program, is a Vietnamese-Canadian filmmaker based in Toronto. Her films explore the subjects of cultural identity and family. She's directed 8 short films and has screened them in over 80 festivals worldwide. She's a wonderkind. She's a 3-time TIFF Jump Cuts winner and a TIFF Share Her Journey ambassador. In 2018, she was selected as a Sundance Ignite Fellow and an Adobe Creativity Scholar. Currently, she is continuing her passion for filmmaking at Concordia University as an undergrad in Montreal. Thank you for joining us on our informal chat. I guess I want to ask everybody first, what's changed for you as women working in the film industry and the arts industry over the past few years? What's been different?
I can speak of it as looking into it as a young woman to where I am now. I feel like I'm not like completely in the industry yet because I still am in university, but what I've seen that has changed is a lot more films made by women and directors of color going into mainstream media and being projected at festivals like TIFF, and that's really inspiring to young people like me to make more movies and to tell our stories. Like, I've been seeing a lot of films from women of color, like Lulu Wang, The Farewell. I just saw Parasite yesterday. As a woman of color, it's important to me not only to see films by women, but by people that I identify with, which is other Asian filmmakers. So seeing I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, but seeing him yesterday on the stage for the first time, it was the first Asian filmmaker that I saw in real life, was really incredible to me. So I think we're making progress. And so it's been really a journey the past few years.
I feel like we are less dependent. Women are less dependent, and we are more free and free of self-doubt, fear, inhibitions, and I'm so proud to see women entering usually male-dominated technical roles as well. And yesterday I watched Rocks by Sarah. And then the cast and crew, they came up on the stage, and the screenwriters, then producer, editor, then cinematographer, so many young actresses. So it's so beautiful, like to see this change is happening, and lots of women making movies. It's such a great film, feelings, and there was such a nice energy. So it's important that without bitterness, we need to own our place. We need to kind of that's that without bitterness. That's more important, and that's happening. And I'm really happy. And also, this is a wonderful festival. They are like making so much efforts to find this women directors, and that's amazing. I'm coming from a small village from Assam, and two of my last movies, Village Roxas and Bulbul Can Sing, opened here, and it made so much difference. And thank you.
Well, I think it's just pretty clear that all these initiatives that have already been in place for a long time, but now it just feels like we're seeing the fruition of it. I mean, that's why we're all here in this room today. And the numbers, how many female filmmakers are at the festival, it's just nice to actually see the results of probably many, many, many years of work and work underground that we don't see with other people who've been constantly fighting for this kind of parity. And so I think that's encouraging and something to be celebrated.
And it does seem to be cumulative. Like once people realize that we're looking for and respecting female voices, more people submit. We had an overwhelmingly female submissions and shortcuts, from what I'm told, for one of the first years. And so choosing female filmmakers was very easy. There was an embarrassment of riches in the submissions. What do you think is the role of a festival like this, or any festival, in providing a platform for female filmmakers? And what does it mean to have your work at a festival like this, to be accessible to other people that might not otherwise be able to see it?
It's extremely important because, TIFF and other festivals hold events like this, and they hold themselves accountable by making sure that they program female films. And so this is my first year in the actual festival, so I'm seeing how much this festival actually impacts you as a filmmaker. And it's so incredible that I get to access other female filmmakers and meet industry people that I don't have access to. And so this is such a enriching time in my life right now. And I think that festivals and organizations that give women opportunities like this and open up doors by creating fellowships and funding and making active participation in gender parity and into fixing gender parity is just incredible and is helping the next generation overcome what the previous is struggling to.
Yeah, it's festivals are very important, I think, for us, and mainly because most still like big studios and big investors, they don't trust on women directors, and so our films, if it goes to film festivals, at least we get audience. And also Toronto, like Toronto, then Cannes, Sundance, Venice, and Berlin, this kind of festivals, if your films are there, then only like other festivals, they invite your films, so it really helps. So if more and more women's films are in the festivals, these big festivals, then it will really help. Then also because otherwise it is very hard. Even here in festival, like I mostly watch because there are so many young directors. Films are here in discovery sections, then you can see in contemporary worlds. So I am here to watch. This time my film is not here, but I'm here to watch these films. Because you later on the gala films and special mention, you can at least can watch somewhere, but you cannot watch these films, so it's very important, I think.
Yeah, I think festivals obviously are a key to any filmmaker's development, and but not only the festivals themselves, but the initiatives that they bring, like the labs, the studios, the workshops. TIFF in particular has been really good to me. I had short films in TIFF Kids when that was a festival here, and also in TIFF Top 10. But then I was part of the Talent Lab and also the Writer Studio. So all of these, and also in Berlin, for example, I was part of that lab, Berlinale. So all of these festivals have not only the festival, but labs and initiatives for young filmmakers, and those are essential in meeting people and meeting colleagues and
That is also very
Yeah.
important. You can meet other people, you know, like other programmers from festivals. And if you are traveling, like if I keep traveling to festivals, it's like a like-minded people. It's like a community, you know. You keep meeting those people and you really feel good. And you feel like they understand you. It's just that sense of belonging also is there.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that because we're in it already, we forget that being at a film festival is a privilege. Being able to be invited to an event like this is a privilege. Being able to afford a $33 ticket at TIFF is a privilege. And so it's important that festivals and organizations use their power to not only give that privilege to those who already have it, but those who need it. And so organizations like TIFF, and like I know they're like spreading festival passes through Share Her Journey events, and like providing programs and like opportunities for programming films from women like me is really letting us grow and letting us climb the ladder without all the barriers that we already have.
It's such an important point you make about networking and nurturing female talent on every level, not just when you have a film that's ready for the festival circuit, but really finding that talent, that raw talent, and then introducing them to other writers and other craftspeople that can shape that talent to something where they can get into a festival. There's been a lot of discussions about who gets to tell what stories, and in terms of race, in terms of gender, intersectionally. Some of the people that you network with at festivals are going to be male producers and men that can help you get your film made or distributed. What do you think men's larger role is in this movement, and Share Her Journey in the movement to try to get women filmmakers more seen and more people to have access to women's films?
If nobody wants to start, I can on that one. Because I have a sort of special story. I was in the Talent Lab here 2 years ago, and one of the mentors is Cassian Elwes. He's a producer. He's here again doing that same mentorship. And during that, for the lab, we all had to make a self-portrait. And anyway, long story short, he saw something in my work that he liked. And through just meeting him in that lab, after the festival, he sent me a script. We started talking, and again, long story short, but we're working together. It's going to be my first feature film, and I'm in prep for it right now. Right now, I'm leaving on Monday morning. And that's sort of like a Cinderella story, but it would not have happened if this situation didn't exist. So it's really putting people together in the same room, and I would never have met him, nor would I have chased him at a party. I was sort of hiding at the coffee machine, as I was doing earlier this morning. It's things like this that really open it up. And so yeah, as far as the role of men, he's obviously a man, but he has made it one of his his daughter is a producer, also on the film. So it's one of his sort of passions to also bring more women into the industry. And he's been in it for many, many, many years, and he wants to kind of, level the playing field, and is dedicated to making that happen. So I'm quite lucky to be part of that, and I'm grateful for TIFF to have me in that, and also to have met him and for him to take a chance.
I can only speak for what I know, again, because I'm an undergrad, but I think the role of men is to first educate yourself and educate the others around you, so your colleagues and even your sons. And by doing so, the people that women will work with will understand what gender parity means more and how to act on that. And then the second thing is just practice what you preach. I think a lot of men understand and they call themselves a part of it, but they don't take active participation and active action towards that. So whether that's sticking up for your female colleagues, whether that's speaking out or hiring more female crew members or female teammates, whatever that means for them, I think there's a small step that each man can take. Whether they have high status of being a gatekeeper or being a crew member and just being able to encourage your fellow crewmates.
So not just allies, sideline allies, but accomplices. People
Exactly.
that actively help you get in there. So we've talked about how things have changed over the years, but what do you think still needs to change in the industry to allow for more female voices? And female identified voices, so non-binary, trans.
For me, I feel like for women, we need to keep doing it, and we should know what we are doing. And also about this movement, last few years, and about this share her journey and women making films. And what I feel that this movement is limited to the big cities and urban areas, and we need to reach out to also rural areas. I feel like there are lots of deserving women. They're coming from underprivileged background. They should also know that feminism exists. They should also be part of this movement, and otherwise I feel incomplete, because I am coming from a village from Northeast India, Assam, and I made in my village 3 films with non-professional actors. And now in the beginning, women were very shy when I approached them, but later when my films, they started doing well, they come up to me, they say that old lady, young lady, they come up to me and they tell me that they want to do what I'm doing, they want to be part of it. Earlier when I used to ask them to do a role in my films, they were shy. Now sometimes I feel so sad. They just come that why I'm not, you give me a role when I was in your earlier film. And the whole life I'm so getting bored with doing the same household thing. I feel so different. So there is a deserving and women, we need to reach out. We need to create opportunities for them. We need to bring them to be part of this movement. And again in Mumbai, the same thing. Now, I don't know you are aware about these TikTok videos. So my, Jo, who helps me in my house help, she discovered that I'm a filmmaker. She was like, sister, can you give me a role, as showing her TikTok videos. And also recently, again, I go to a place to buy clothes, and a young lady, she's not the owner, she works there. I always talk to her. She's pretty. And suddenly I was there, and one parcel arrived. It's a big LED light, kind of. I was curious. I asked her what this is for. She said there is no enough lights in my house, and I make TikTok videos. So this is, she ordered she a professional kind of light. She ordered from Amazon. So look the level of dedication. So I think we need to find how to reach out to them, and we need to initiate this share her journey in different level across the countries, and also we need to, I think, be useful, always alert if we are visiting farmers market, also to find this deserving woman, you know, and giving them opportunities, that's so important. Yeah. Thank you.
I think, like Rima said, I'm all about role models. And it wasn't until I think the last 2 years that I saw an Asian woman director, make it to the big screen. I saw Chloe Zhao and Lulu Wang, and I was just like, oh my God, for the first time, like, that could be me. And it's all about being able, as a young person, or even as an old person, I don't know, being able to project yourself and see and dream without having a limitation. And for a lot of women and young women, they can't do that right now. They don't know what their possibilities are and what exists for them because they don't see it. So they don't know that they can. And so being able to help women and elevate them to this platform, all in all, is helping women as a whole. And so I think positive role models and just being able to see is really important.
Do you think some of the concern is, do you think now that women filmmakers are making genre films and mainstream films that are making money, do you feel like that has caused some of the gatekeepers to be more open to female filmmakers? And what do you think the role of kind of like the mainstream filmmaker is as opposed to the art filmmakers, the filmmakers that kind of keep the festivals going? Should there be a push to have more women making like the mainstream films?
I definitely think so, because mainstream media reaches the largest amount of society. Like, not everyone, like I said, gets the privilege to see independent films. So I definitely would push for that. And I think that's a positive that, the gatekeepers are seeing that and making more opportunities. But I'm hoping that they're seeing that and it's actually making a change in them, not that they're thinking that, oh, like this could make more money in Hollywood, or though this is just a niche, or this is just a trend. So I'm hoping that they actually see it and they're changing themselves, not that a bunch of crazy rich Asian movies will, I don't know, but I hope that they're actually making an active effort on the production end, and what we don't see, paying women of color the same amount of money, paying people of color and just women in general equal pay. I think the other day I read an article, Crazy Rich Asians is doing like 3 sequels or something like that. And they had 2 co-writers. One is a white male and the other is an Asian woman. And the Asian woman just walked out of the project because she was getting paid 1/8 of her white male co-worker's salary. And so that was very unfortunate to see. Things like this happen even in what we think of is a positive change in Hollywood. And that's the things that are hidden behind the public eye. And so I think there's a lot to do in Hollywood, but it's a complicated system, and I don't feel like I can make an accurate analysis of that, but something needs to happen for sure.
And nor should women filmmakers have to depend just on Hollywood to kind of get their foot in the door, right?
Exactly.
So for our last kind of question, Carol, you were kind enough to share with us your first female filmmakers and other filmmakers that influenced you. And a lot of people at TIFF this year are going to be introduced to their first experience seeing women filmmakers and their projects. I was wondering if Rima and you would like to share kind of your first experiences with.
Oh, I wasn't going to say my first experience, but I wanted to also just do little shout outs to people, women who have films here. Include a friend of mine, Heather Young, she was in Talent Lab as well with me a couple of years ago. She's got a film, I think it premiered I just got here last night, but I think it premiered last night. So there's tons here now, so Go watch them.
And Carol's No Crying at the Dinner Table.
Shorts program,
Shorts program 8.
Tuesday at 9:15 p.m. Scotiabank Theater.
Expert plug, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you all for being here. Really love to hear what you have to say. Go out there and enjoy some movies by women
Thank you
filmmakers.
guys.